Then,
The demographics of our listeners, are very astute,
Yes.
very intelligent.
What was your favorite Valentine's Day that we've had together? Okay,
They've got worse every year. I mean, you handled that really nice. I mean, like,
that's it.
I was going to say it was our first and last,
First and only.
but it was
We went to Chuck E. Cheese for Valentine's Day.
everybody knows my memory's terrible. I get that from my grandma, who gave it to my mom, I think. The ball pit, it was amazing. Socks, smell of socks.
Yeah, I think we should.
Did you think of that at all before you said it? Oh my gosh. We can't actually put that one out there, can we? I mean, that's why you can smell things, because particles of that thing.
I'm like, I can taste people's perfume, and it's terrible.
We should probably establish, too, I don't generally lick anything. Yeah.
I was horrified.
You'd be shocked at how many men don't wash their hands after they use the restroom.
Yeah.
And as a germophobe, a bona fide germophobe,
Yeah.
that grosses me out.
Yeah.
That's real talk, people.
Yeah.
That is real talk.
I'm gonna stop shaking hands.
But we're not suggesting anybody out there go drink Chlorox.
No, please don't.
I guess one day of the year that's not all about me is okay. Innately, at my core, it causes me anxiety. Not because I'm just being anal about it.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I'm a piler. My room was clean all the time.
You did
Although just don't touch the Post-it notes, because the
never touch another person's Post-it note.
Yeah, sweet.
Anti-itch is what you're going with?
Well, no.
You are cuckoo.
I know, I'm a little choo-choo, but you all might think we're crazy. Well, now it's out there. It's all right. Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of just the hats that we try to wear. Always a good yin and a yang, right? I was picking it up because I was laying it on pretty thick. And earlier,
Hey, Ed.
oh yeah, it's 2 syllables.
Hey,
Ed. Yeah.
My head.
My
Something my darn head just don't work.
head. I have no idea where I was going with that. It's not that good of a book, people. Please don't read it.
Like, just come out of your 30s, man. You're a youngin'.
Yeah.
With your special thing, because I know you want to finish my...
Snow Angels.
I don't think it's funny.
I think it's hilarious.
I don't think it's funny.
Welcome to the Mr. and Mrs. Inglis Podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Shaen. We're here to talk about the wild ride of raising kids, growing careers, keeping life together in the middle of all the chaos.
So buckle up, because we're all in this crazy journey together.
Is my mouth matching? Bop, bop, bop. Is my mouth matching? Bop, bop, bop.
I think it is. You kind of sounded like, Hanson back then. Bop, bop, ba, doo, up. All right. No more singing.
No, it's great. I think that should be the new one. You just sing our way into it.
Thought we'd lose any listeners that we ever had if that's the case.
Better you than me, though.
I'm not that good of a singer.
Yeah, well, you want to welcome everybody? I welcome everybody every time.
Oh, well, welcome everybody to episode 6, I think.
Yep.
Regardless of what episode number it is, happy Valentine's Day to everyone. So
That's right.
this is
Valentine's
airing
Day.
on Valentine's Day. So happy future Valentine's Day to you.
You as well. Happy Valentine's Day to you today.
Yes.
Or yesterday.
Or yesterday.
Because if you're watching this on Saturday, then Valentine's Day was yesterday. So I hope you guys all had a great Valentine's Day yesterday.
Yeah, and if you're watching it then on Saturday, that also means that you're watching it on Shaen's birthday. So then
That's
I
right.
should wish you happy birthday.
Happy my birthday. That's right. And if you're watching this on Sunday, we could just keep going down that.
We could keep going down that.
Happy my birthday yesterday.
Right. And I don't happen to know if there's a big day on February 16th.
I don't know, but we should just 3 days. We covered 3 days.
That's pretty good.
If you've been watching the first 3 days, then you don't care that you're off
Right.
a couple days.
Yeah, you just know. Yeah.
You're just automatically thinking, oh, they must have filmed this around Valentine's Day then.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
And that's okay.
The demographics of our listeners, are very astute.
Yes.
They're very intelligent, so they'll understand.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So But we will say, if you are watching it on Friday, happy Valentine's Day or happy Sean's birthday. So here we go.
All the way back around, and even a little bit more full circle.
Exactly. So, just in the spirit of Valentine's Day, I was thinking, like, oh, okay, we're planning. We did a little bit of planning. I know you did some shopping today for Valentine's Day. What was your favorite Valentine's Day that we've had together?
Oh, that we've had together?
Yeah. Oh,
So-
gosh. If you mention one that's not when we're together, that's kind of rude.
Well, I hadn't gotten there. I guess what I was thinking is, generally speaking, we have 6 topics maybe that we put up for that or this week, or general themes, archetypes that we want to make sure we kind of talk about every now and then, every episode.
Right.
And one of the ones, the only one that we actually even discussed was this. You said, well, I figured we'd start with Valentine's. I said, that's a great idea because it'll be Valentine's Day, all that. You're like, I think we could talk about maybe our favorite Valentine's Day together.
Yeah.
Again, great thoughts. And that is exactly where you started it. But I thought maybe you were going to tell us about that and not put me on the spot because
I'm sorry.
I hadn't considered yet what my favorite Valentine. All of them have been amazing. So
Every one of them.
it's hard to narrow it down.
It really is. And after, I think, total of 19, this will be 19 Valentine's Days together.
And does everyone get better every year?
I think we've had some
Be
that are a
honest.
little more low-key. You know what? Okay.
They've got worse every year. I mean, you handled that really nice. I mean, like, there was a time when
Oh,
I really was like, gosh, I got to do something. Like, it's Valentine's Day. This is special. I got to show her I love her. And, it started high. Like, I know a couple you'll talk about, we did a lot of fun things and, there's been jewelry involved.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
But that's fallen off in the last couple of years.
But that's okay, because I do know that you love me every day, not just on Valentine's Day. So
Decades.
I really don't. It's a Hallmark holiday, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what
I think we at least try to do dinner.
Dinner? Yeah.
Because for us, it's kind of dinner for Valentine's and my birthday type thing.
Right. So it's easier to lump them together. Although then I feel like your birthday gets a little bit shorted that way.
I never do. My birthday's not that big of a deal to me, but I got a great question for you. What's your favorite Valentine's Day that you can remember?
So as we were talking, I did think of another one. So the first one
Did
off.
you see how I turned that?
Yeah, you did a great job, and this will buy you some time to think of your favorite. But I want to say I loved the one where we had a bed and breakfast in Old Colorado City. And we went to a steakhouse for dinner. We still have the picture somewhere up in our house, actually.
Did our friends
downtown.
join us for that dinner too?
That one, no, it was just us. I
Okay,
think
we went to that same place, that same steakhouse.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a great time. We had a lot of fun. And that was kind of our first bed and breakfast experience. I had never been to one before
How many have we been to?
that one. That's it.
I was going to say it was our first and last,
First and only.
but it was a great experience. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. That one definitely stands out.
We have
The-
coffee mugs from that. What was the name of that hotel?
Was it it was Cliff House.
I was going to say the Cliff House.
Hmm.
Everybody knows my memory's terrible. I get that from my grandma, who gave it to my mom, I think.
It's genetic.
Who gave it to me? It is. And I don't think any of our kids have it, which is great. I said, that is something you got from your mom, which is fantastic.
Yeah, but you'll remember when I plant little seeds in your head. You remember things. You're like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I do remember that. And then you can recall it just fine. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah. That'll be an episode one day. Not an episode, but that'll be a good one on some day. Because remember, we talked about that with a couple
Yeah.
people, that some that have bad memory like me and some that have great memory like you, and just how in your mind you recall your memory. Because I know
Right.
for me, we won't get into it now, but you and I, the way we recall our memories
Yeah.
and bring them to the surface, and even that's with like your vocabulary, all those kind of things too, kind of work the same way.
yeah, it
And
does.
it's just how quickly you can find those in your brain.
Yeah,
And ours are totally different when it comes to that.
it is. And
Yeah.
it's really fascinating, though, that
Mm-hmm.
I remember it was kind of like a light bulb moment to be like, oh my goodness, that's how you remember things or
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
remember things, I guess, sometimes.
Well, I don't want to interrupt you like I do all the time. I'm horrible at interrupting on these things. But I think that's the back and forth of a thing like this.
That's right.
Maybe we can jump into that. I don't know, because I think it's an interesting topic. And I'm
It
curious how
is.
other people feel about that too.
Yeah, I am too.
But I interrupted you. You were talking about the bed and breakfast, which was fantastic. Yeah, the Cliff House.
Yep, it was fantastic. The other one that was super fun, and we still have this picture somewhere. It was up on a bulletin board in our house. It was We had just moved to Texas. This one might jog your memory. We had just moved to Texas
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
2 weeks beforehand. We knew
A family one.
really
It was a family one.
family one because we knew nobody. We could not like we could have someone watch our kids. We went to Chuck E. Cheese for Valentine's Day, and oh man, that was so memorable. I don't know if it was fun or what, but it was a really fun. I know it was fun with the family. I don't think you and I enjoyed necessarily Chuck E. Cheese, but like
The
seeing
ball pit, it was amazing.
It-
Socks, smell of socks.
Yeah, I mean, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
In my
not.
mouth. Anyways.
Are you licking the balls?
Did you think of that at all before you said it? Oh my gosh. We can't actually put that one out there, can we? Oh my gosh. Oh, this is G-rated, honey. This is not explicit.
For the life of me, I can't think of why you were tasting it though.
No, it's just like when you breathe. It's like when you breathe something badly. It's like it feels like it's in your mouth and in your nostrils. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, that's why you can smell things, because particles of that thing have come into your nose and mouth.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you're like, I can taste it. It smells so bad I can taste it.
Oh, well, trust me, as someone with like the nose of a bloodhound, yes, I'm like, I can taste people's perfume and it's terrible. I just wasn't necessarily putting that with the ball pit.
And we should probably establish too, I don't generally lick anything.
You are a germaphobe.
I-
That is a well-documented fact within our house. So, yeah,
Anybody that's traveled or worked with me, they know that.
they know that.
Yeah. I'll often literally wait in a public restroom bathroom that has a door that you have to pull on to exit. I will wait in there at times for somebody to open the door so that I don't have to touch it. Because, for instance,
Whoa, really?
McDonald's doesn't give paper towels.
No.
You have to dry your hands. So after you dry your hands, after you wash them, your only option is to put your hand on that dirty handle. And I'm sorry, everybody knows guys are terrible at this. Go to any airport or any public restroom. You'd be shocked at how many men don't wash their hands after they use the restroom.
Yeah.
And as a germaphobe, a bona fide germaphobe,
Yeah.
that grosses me out.
Yeah.
I think people should wash their hands after they go to the restroom.
Well, yeah, I remember a date. Now that you're talking about this, I remember a date early on. We were in Kansas City, and we were at a bar and grill, different than the previous, discussion that we had on last podcast. We're not going to talk about the grilled chicken or anything, but you and I were talking about this, and you're like, I will tell you, and you started pointing out the people who were in the restroom that did not wash their hands.
Yeah.
And I was horrified.
I mean, it is safe to assume 50% of men are not washing their hands. So that's real talk, people.
Yeah.
That is real talk.
I'm going to stop shaking hands.
If there's someone here that listens that doesn't wash their hands, I'm sorry, but I do find that gross.
That is, yeah.
Like, you don't want all that happening, even if you are, because we've made the point before. It's not like, you're peeing on your hand or something like that. You know what I mean? So, like,
Right.
I get that. Most people aren't that bad.
Right.
But you should still probably just wash your hands because,
Yeah.
it is what it is. So my point to that whole tangent there, I just offended. I don't know how many people just slammed their computer shut. Like, wow,
Right.
I can't believe that. Sean's, has that high of expectations of people. I do. Well, I do have high expectations.
You do. Yeah. That's okay.
And if you're not okay with that, dang it. But I'll wait. I will wait because in McDonald's, they don't give you paper towels that you can hold the handle with
Yeah.
to open it and then throw it in the trash can.
Yeah.
Or you have to use your shirt to do it.
To open the door.
And I don't like I don't like the idea of using my shirt either because
Right.
guess what? Now my shirt's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's on my shirt. I mean, that's how we all learned how germs work in 2020.
Yes, we
They
did.
spread
They
by touching and breathing.
really?
And, yeah.
My gosh! Wow. And guess what? In 2025, it's still true, right? They spread just like they did in 2020.
I think so.
Yeah.
Unless you drink Clorox. I heard if you drink Clorox,
It does help.
that helps.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
but we're not suggesting anybody out there go drinks Clorox.
No, please don't.
Disclaimer.
Yeah. Your
We're
hands
going
won't touch.
way off topic. Where did
Yeah.
that start?
Chuck E. Cheese and a fun and unorthodox Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That was a long That was a long tangent from Chuck E. Cheese
Wow. Like,
and being in the ball pit and smelling of socks.
yes.
Yeah.
Which,
But that was fun. The kids had a great time. I mean, for them,
yeah.
I mean, we were going to we went to the mall just down the street trying to go to what's the jungle one?
Rainforest Cafe. And we never made it, right?
And apparently that is a hot spot for people on Valentine's Day because we could not walk in.
We could not. It was like a 3-hour wait or something. It was unbelievable.
But surprisingly, Chuck E. Cheese didn't have any wait
I
on
know.
Valentine's Day.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one. You're right. That was fun. And the Cliff House was fun too. I mean, because every room had a certain theme to it.
Yeah.
But very old themes. And I don't remember but it was well appointed. I mean, they were really nice rooms.
Really nice.
Yeah. And a great restaurant there. So the dinner was great. Yeah.
Yeah. That was fun.
That was fun. It was just kind of a relaxing 24 hours.
Yeah. That was before kids, though, and we could take a relaxing 24 hours.
Yeah.
We haven't had one of those in a while.
So now,
Yeah.
it's a card.
Uh-huh.
And I think at times that's been the low watermark is
A card.
a card.
No, you always get me chocolates.
That's true.
You
But I
always
didn't
get
want
me
to ruin the surprise for this year.
Yeah.
Well, this year I'm also getting you a new ligament.
You are. I get a new ligament. Maybe this is the high water mark. Like, it's what I need.
It is. Yeah.
So
It'll be the most expensive Valentine's we've had. Megan's
is.
going into surgery to get her knee repaired.
on
14th.
Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
which this is a big sacrifice for you, because now I feel like I won't be able to
Not really.
celebrate your birthday the way that not that we go all out for your birthday. We don't, but I don't
Rarely
know
do we.
like how, with it and up and about I'll be that day.
Yeah. Well,
So
I guess one day of the year that's not all about me is okay. I'll allow it.
you'll allow it. And we do know that the faster I get this fixed, the more we can return to a normal life and we can have a little more balance in the carpools and the driving. And so I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We'll march toward that.
Yep. No, I agree.
So
I'm excited for you to be up and about. I mean, you're doing really well now, but I mean, it's still like today we're telling the kids pick up their shoes because mom is one small stumble from catastrophe at this point.
yeah, and I don't want to fall. So yeah, well, hopefully they follow that. I don't know. I'd love to hear from our listeners on whether their kids pick up things, because I don't know that our kids don't.
I don't think they do, but I was actually having lunch with somebody yesterday
Mm-hmm.
who is also self-described, a little ADHD,
Yeah.
but what is it when you gotta turn the knob? You gotta turn your
Oh, OCD. Yeah.
OCD. Thanks. Things when I'm not focused in, I can't bring that up. That knowledge doesn't come straight up if I'm not locked in.
Right.
But he's self-described OCD a little bit too, and he and I were talking through that because I told him something about one of the some people who know me. I mean, we're less. I always air out my bad things here, so everybody knows how horrible. But this isn't bad. It's just kind of OCD. I'm anal. I've embraced the fact that I now know I'm anal in my older years.
You are A positive. You are A plus.
I'm A+. But I told him the OCD side of it is there's buttons in my car that I won't push, on my steering wheel. I don't want to use that button too much, as as easy as it makes it, to change the channel, turn the volume up, or something like that, because I'm scared that I'm going to rub the paint off of that button, and then I'm going to have to see that button is not perfect. It's not new anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's got to be on the scale somewhere of just a little OCD. But he was OCD too. And I tell my wife this all the time. It has nothing to do with, I don't really care about the house being clean. That's not what it is. It's something of unrest. It causes me anxiety at my core that shoe or that jacket has a place to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not there.
Right.
And it's not that I'm trying to whip the kids. and this is what I'd be curious to hear from the viewers. Like, I know everybody's kids leave their stuff everywhere. I know that's just what kids do. But how do the other parents handle that? Because for you, and I'm talking a lot right now, it doesn't bother you. You see past that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, innately, at my core, it causes me anxiety. Not because I'm just being anal about it.
Yeah. And I think that's fair. You and I have talked about it. For me, I just go and I pick it up and I move it. And because that's just
That's a difference
easy.
too.
You know, like,
kids, come pick this up.
yeah. And I'm just like, man, if I ask them to, and that's probably bad parenting right there. But, you know, I'm like, I'd be asking them to do it all the time. I mean, because really nothing gets put away. And
Go ahead.
I don't think that they'll really pick things up until it's their own stuff, because I think they will want their own homes, their own apartments and all of that to be clean.
That's probably true. I mean, my mom told me that my room was filthy, just from a clothes standpoint.
Yeah.
It was very organized other than that, but my clothes rarely made it into the hamper or wherever. I think they were just strewn throughout my room. So it was a messy room growing up when I lived in the room I grew up in.
Yeah.
But when I moved out and I had my own apartment, ever since then to this day, if it's got a place, I put it there.
Mm-hmm.
I like things in their place.
Yeah.
Because it just makes me feel, it takes anxiety from me.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's all it is. It just checks that box. But isn't that philosophy a little bit of like teach someone to fish, right?
Yeah.
And they can feed themselves for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
That's how I view teaching the kids to pick up their shoes.
Yeah.
And now they know, like, hey, maybe I should put things away for the rest of their life, like organizational skills.
Right. And I think, and I do ask them to pick this up or pick that up. You know, don't let that go on the floor. It's not that I don't. It's just that that's probably 20% of the time that I've seen it and recognized it, that I asked them to do it, because it would be too much. And it's good to know that you had a messy room as a kid, because with all the clothes, because every single one of our kids got that then, probably from you, because I never had dirty clothes on my floor. They were
You had a clean room?
My room was clean all the time.
You didn't have piles of stuff anywhere?
Mm-mm.
So
No,
that's a skill you developed later in life.
Yeah, probably because I have more stuff now. But yeah, I'm a piler. So if I don't know where it goes, I just put it in the pile. But I always know where it is. I always know where in the pile it is.
Just take a picture of your desk, because we home office.
Yeah,
and
it's a mess right now.
you have stuff on your desk that's been sitting there months and maybe if not years that I would never I would just find a place for that and put it somewhere else. I even put something, that little free thing, like little speaker, it's a Bluetooth speaker that you have no need for. It's trash.
Oh, I put it there because I was going to see if anybody wants like a little Bluetooth speaker. Actually, maybe you threw it away. I don't
think anybody wants it.
Yeah,
it'll sit there for a year. So I put it in the closet
Yeah.
next to some of those other kind of like electronic things.
Yeah.
But you're a piler, and like things like that will just stay on your desk all year. Like honestly, if I wouldn't have put away calendars, you probably have a stack of, you just put the new calendar on the stack of the old calendars.
Well,
So you
at some
couldn't
point,
see it.
until I couldn't. Yeah.
So you had to look over it to see the pictures.
Yeah. I do like to pile. But yeah, I never had like clothes on the floor of my room or anything like that. Everything was always clean. And I am someone who, like, if I'm just home, I noticed this when I lived by myself, like my house never really got dirty, because if I took it out, then I would put it away. But it's like when you have 3 or more kids, like they pull things out and never put it away, and there's only 2 of us to constantly put it away, and so it just gets to be overwhelming.
I think this goes back to what we said maybe in the very first episode, where I painted the picture that you in your life are the steady Eddie rower, just smooth and steady straight away.
Mm-hmm.
No, you just never stray from smooth. And I'm back and forth on this jet ski, falling off it, crashing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I even put that as one of the highlights, but it's exactly what it is. Like, you just constantly, like, your whole life you've been that way. It's like, I'll just put this up. This is where it is.
Yep.
This is just what I do. And you've just always stayed on that, never straying from it.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah. So it's good that I clean your desk off sometimes because it never would be cleaned by you because you're comfortable living in that.
Yeah. Although just don't touch the Post-it notes because the Post-it notes on there
I wouldn't dare.
are there for a reason, and a lot of times I need to like recall whatever is on there really quickly, and I know exactly what is on every Post-it note that's on my desk.
I know the things that I can move. I would never, never touch another person's Post-it note.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, everybody knows Post-it notes they're there for a reason. I wouldn't touch your Post-its either because you have some Post-its.
Sometimes they get built up though.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have so many, and I'm like, I got to go through these now. Like if I haven't looked at that Post-it note in a month, it's similar to like cleaning out your closet, right? If I haven't worn that in a year, I should probably just get rid of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
And I do that every now and again on the Post-its. Like, okay, I did that. I'll throw that away. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah.
ready to go in the trash. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think that does speak to like who we are. Like, I don't like to organize. You love to organize. And because I don't like to organize, once something's organized, I just kind of keep it as is, right? It's organized once, and so we just kind of keep that steady eddy rolling. You love to organize.
And I'm just putting "you're organized" in air quotes, just so the listeners that aren't following the video can see that. You're organized.
Oh, but once you set the organization,
I'm also
I just
winking
keep
now
it
just to
there.
make sure everybody knows.
But like once you've organized it,
You're organized, hon.
I put it back there, right? Like we were talking about like anti-itch stuff, right? You had just this week or last week.
Anti-itch is what you're going with?
Well, no.
Our youngest got bit by an ant, so let's just be clear on what this anti-itch.
Oh yeah. So we have
Given your earlier outburst.
we're cutting that. But so in our junk bowl that we have that we put keys in and stuff, we have like the Benadryl stick, the anti-itch stick that we can put on his ant bites if he gets bit by an ant. Well, you recently cleaned out the junk drawer and organized it. And so the ant bite that our youngest had, I keep having to put the Benadryl creams on it and everything because it's on his foot and it's really, really itchy. And every time I'm like, okay, it goes back in that spot because I want to keep it organized. I don't want the bowl that you just spent all that time cleaning and organizing and that junk drawer. I want to keep it nice and clean.
Yeah.
So I follow your organization, but you like to take the mess, or you like to take the chaos and get it all nice and straight and organized. And I don't like that part.
I do like that. And sometimes I'm in moods where it's like I could do it for 8 hours straight. Just go. Like I can get this one. Because I know like in the back of my head, there's things that I want to do. Like right now, I know there's a place in the attic I got to work on. I know there's in our laundry room.
Yeah.
There's some cupboards that I know I got to get to.
Yeah.
And again, it's that inner anxiety that's like, I just got to get to it at some point.
Yeah.
And I will, but it's just, I'm not taking the time.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you have that inner anxiety to get that organized because that is, like I said, once you get it organized, I can follow your path. I just don't like to take the chaos and organize it.
That's probably true.
You know?
I get that. I get that.
But I think that's just kind of how we work and how we balance each other out.
Mm.
And I think both of us are a little bit, OCD is probably too strong for how I feel about it. But I mean, there are certain things that, like, I can't have dirty dishes on the counter. I mean, so I do have my own things that bother me from like a dirtiness or, cleanliness standpoint that I have to have.
Yeah, it's true. And I can handle that for 24 hours. Like those dishes don't really bother me if it's like, I'd rather sit down and finish the movie than do the dishes. Yeah. And you almost prefer to get the dishes done, then sit and watch the movie. Yeah,
because I can't enjoy a movie if I know that there's dirty dishes that need to be cleaned. Mm-hmm.
You are cuckoo.
I know, I'm a little cuckoo-choo-choo, but, well, now it's out there. It's all right.
Yeah.
We like to be ourselves, and that's what we were saying. I mean, you were saying earlier, you're like, when I'm not locked in, sometimes I struggle with words. And I think this time that we have it's really very authentic to who we are. And yeah, we're going to air out sometimes where you all might think we're crazy. But it's authentic to who we are, and we don't want to be super dialed in and buttoned up because that's not who we are in real life. I think in our professional life we are. But But we're trying to
Yeah.
show you kind of behind the curtain and how people really are.
Yeah, we've talked about that a little bit before, and I may have mentioned it on this show once or twice. But yeah, I agree. It's funny. Like we'll be on the sidelines with parents, right? And
Mhm.
some of these people I have no idea what they do. Some of
Right.
them I have an idea what they do,
Right.
But a lot of these people I would never have, by just meeting them on the soccer field or just meeting us on the soccer field, you may never know what someone does in real life, and that's because I think we all kind of compartmentalize those personalities or what we do,
Right.
right? Like we're all really good at yelling at the ref and yelling at our own kids and all that kind of stuff on the side of the soccer
Yeah.
field. And you were just mentioning it here because I was saying, watching when I was editing last week's, I could tell that I was kind of just, because I'm relaxed here with you,
Mm-hmm.
that I could tell the way I was speaking. Like sometimes we were talking earlier, those lights. I always describe my vocabulary as picturing, a stadium, and every seat in that stadium is a vocab word,
Mm-hmm.
right? That you pull from to form a sentence. And on any given day, different seats are lighting up. And like I know there's a word that I want to use, but if that seat doesn't light up, I can't find the word.
Yeah.
And I don't. And yours are always there. Like the whole thing's lit up for you. You can pull whatever words you want at any time, almost.
Most of the time.
There's like 2 or 3 seats that are blacked out.
Right.
Which for me, it's the opposite way. It's like 30% are available.
Yeah.
But when I'm locked in, like at work,
Mm-hmm.
they light up more.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I'm just focused.
Yep.
But my whole point, I'm talking too much here, but it was, as I was watching last week, I'm like, I can tell I'm struggling to find words a lot when I do this because I'm at ease.
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of just the hats that we try to wear, and people on the sidelines aren't going to want, or probably don't want to see your work side, and your work side probably doesn't want to see your personal side a whole lot, right? There's always a balance in that middle road where you pull some things. You have to be authentic to who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Early on, you and I used to talk about that,
Mhm.
where it's like sometimes, and we can cut this if you want to, but I mean, you and I have talked about it where I'm like, hun, you're talking about your work an awful lot.
Yeah.
Like you're in an important meeting here, an important meeting here. Like when we're out with other people.
Yeah.
I was like, I just don't know that that's landing the way you want it to land.
Right.
And as we've talked on this, not that I was coaching, but we had talked like, I just didn't know if that was the brand you wanted out there.
Right. And so I think it was right. I mean,
Because you were less approachable that way.
absolutely. And I appreciated the feedback because so often I think you can get into that mode where you're like, well, I'm just work Megan all the time. It's not even intentional. It's just that persona that you wear. It's like, oh, no, I need to take that hat off and
Yeah.
I need to be approachable Megan, or, or I need to be mom Megan. I need to be wife Megan. Like, it's super important to wear those different hats.
Yeah. And I'm really good at throwing that hat off. That work hat, I throw it off easy. Yeah. Is that hard for you though? Because you are an intellect, there's no doubt about it. Is it hard for you to have a conversation that's not, trying to be intellectual and, stimulating?
No, it's what kind of conversations would those be? If it's just, you're not really speaking about intellectual topics, it's just conversational. It's not hard for me to step into that. But sometimes if I've been in that mode for so long, it'll take me a hot minute to snap out of it.
Yeah. I just find it exhausting when there's somebody that's constantly wanting to be, have this intellectually stimulating, almost argumentative, conversations.
Yeah.
Like just are trying to prove to each other who's smart.
Right.
Or who's
Right.
smarter.
Yep.
And it's like, I honestly don't care. You can be smarter. You can have that, gold star.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm confident enough with myself that I don't have to win that.
Mm-hmm.
But can we now take it down a notch?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. Just sometimes that lands wrong with me. Maybe
Yeah.
that's just me.
Yeah. And I think that's okay, because not everyone needs to hear about all the things at work. Like, I kind of assume that most people know a whole lot of things that I don't know and are experts at what they do for a living. I just assume they all know it and that they're experts, but we're talking about just being conversational and getting to know each other at a core, right? When you're trying to make friends. And so I think that it's not about proving that you know anything. Because
Yeah.
I just assume people got it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
need to tell me how smart you are at work. Like, I assumed you were.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and before, since we're just kind of on that, I'll just finish that thought from earlier.
Yeah.
Because it kind of goes into maybe the last one. We're already getting long here. But the way we think, right? The way we recall memory.
Yes.
And so the difference for me is because I feel like I have a bad memory, and we even talked about this with my mom, but and why, if you're going to be talking about Valentine's Days, like
Yeah.
I have a tough time, like, let me think of one. Whereas if you brought it up, then as I'm, flipping through pictures in my mind of memories, my memories are all pictures.
Yes.
Right? And so it's like, I got to find a picture. So if you give me a picture that I can recall,
Yep.
then potentially that picture has a little bit of a video associated with me. That's the memory.
Yep.
Right? But oftentimes, even then, that picture isn't associated with a video. It's associated with 10 more pictures,
Yeah.
right? Of like that event, but I'm not closing my eyes walking through that event like it happened yesterday. And that's how I see things. They're all pictures. Very rarely do I see things or recall things in video in my head. And how do you remember?
And I recall all my memories as videos.
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking about those Valentine's days, I can put myself back in the Chuck E. Cheese. I can walk around. I know where we were sitting. I know, the fun house that our oldest son actually kind of freaked out in because he couldn't remember it, or he couldn't figure out how to get out. And I can put myself there and walk through that whole thing.
Yeah.
And so it was so eye-opening to me because there'd be things that, we'd be talking about. And you're like, I don't remember that. When you're like, no, it's a snapshot. And that's all I get is that picture. And so if you can't bring me to that picture,
Yeah.
I can't get there.
Yeah.
And your mom said that she's that way,
She's
right?
the same way. But
Yeah.
I mean, like my grandmother's known for not having great memory. Similar
Yeah.
like that. Not because she's old. It's just similar to how I am. I know I don't have a great memory.
Yeah.
Whereas you and like our middle daughter, you guys just memorize things by hearing.
Hearing. I'm a auditory learner.
Okay. Yeah.
I do learn hands-on and visually too, right? But if you tell me something and I hear it, I will remember it.
See, and I have to have everything to remember something. It's got to be auditory. It's got to be visual. I got to write it down. It's got to be time and time again. It's got to be repetitive. I mean, very rarely do I see something once and I've got it locked in.
Yeah, and I think this is where I think sometimes you have that lack of confidence around how much you know because you think people know more than you. But I truly believe that you know way more than me because in order for you to remember things, you learn it. You learn it to the core. You understand everything about it. You think of like a machine and you can pull that machine apart every which way. Whereas people like me, I can memorize the user manual and say it, but I don't know how it's working. It's like, well, I was told this, so that must be true, and then I just move forward because that's all I know, right? It's memorized, not learned.
Right.
And there is a big difference. And so that's why I'm like, I think you're actually way, 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 way smarter than me.
That's not the point.
Because you learn it. Whereas I'm like, I'm probably just shooting from the hip because that's what I memorized by someone telling me.
Yeah. Yeah. And the things that I can easily recall and all that kind of stuff, I know in and out.
Mm-hmm.
But it does cause that anxiety, in professional, even in social situations where you're trying to recall something that you kind of know.
Yeah.
At least for me, that I know I kind of know, but it's like, how much of that's going to show up today?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if, how that, I'm a little nervous about it, like how that kind of, evolves as I get older. You know? If it just turns into dad doesn't remember anything, and like, honestly, it's sad. Like you bring up that Chuck E. Cheese thing, and I would never have remembered that our oldest was stuck in that little mirror thing on my own. A mirror maze is what it was. But since you said it, I remember it. I can pick it up.
Yeah.
I can only just a picture of it though, not the video.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can picture it though.
Yeah.
And I think I'm making up half the picture, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not like a
Interesting.
clear picture. I think I'm making up half of it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully that's not too boring to all the people listening. But I'm just curious how other people work in that way, because I would say we're both intelligent people, but in totally different ways.
Totally different ways. This goes back to like, you have the common sense of like the world around you clicks, like for you.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes like I'm in my own head and I don't mean for it to not click. It's just, and I can't control it. But sometimes my head just.
My head.
My.
Sometimes my darn head just don't
my
work.
Head. Man, we've lived in Texas now for officially 10 years, and I apparently just got an accent. Who knew? My head. And earlier.
Hey, Ed.
Oh yeah, it's 2 syllables. Hey, Ed. Yeah. And yeah, earlier in the episode, I actually said you all. So I clearly I haven't switched to the y'all yet, living in Texas. But anyway, I have no idea where I was going with that. Nope, that's where I was going. See, it doesn't always click. I'm not always, intellectual, but there are times when I'm just overthinking something, and the simplest thing was just made hard by however I was processing it.
Yep.
And it's got to be pretty hard for you to be like, she's not getting it. She's just not getting this. So, I'm sorry for that.
No need to apologize. It's just, I mean, my head just goes on that. And I know other people watching this, I'm sure they've been in those same situations. And it's just, everybody's different. But I'm just curious how many, if it's just, how many different camps there are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If people are like, yeah, I'm just like Meghan. No, I'm just like Shaen. And there's nothing else in between.
There's got to be something else in between.
And for how you remember things, I don't know. It's something I know nothing about. I haven't done any research or anything on it.
No, but if there is like a psychiatrist or something, I bet they would know all about it. And there's probably some name for it.
Maybe it's something we should know.
Probably.
Yeah. Well,
since you like to learn things, maybe you can learn it. And then if someone just wants to tell me, and I'll remember, and then I'll just memorize whatever someone tells me. That's how we go about it.
Yeah. Well, at least we're intellectually curious. Either way.
Yes. I think that is something that we have in common. Regardless of how we learn things, we are both very intellectually curious.
Yeah.
Regardless of how we might come across on the soccer sidelines.
Yeah, thanks for throwing that in. Yeah, we've had some really good conversations offline, obviously, but just, we don't really get into current events or politics specifically on this show because it's just such a divisive thing right now, and we definitely have strong opinions about any news headline that we come across.
Yeah.
And we've just chosen at this point, at least, not to go there because it's just too divisive right now.
It is.
People, whether we share or don't share the way other people think about it, there was a time when, we could have those discussions and it was okay to shake hands and leave and go share a beer or a Smirnoff.
Yeah.
And it was okay. But now it's like, that person's an idiot. They don't get it. They don't understand. How can we be friends?
Yep.
And, I hope we get through that at some point.
I do too. Because we read a lot of books, especially the more historical novels. And it's interesting how this is the intellectual side of me, so this might get cut, about how those novels really facilitated controversial dialogue of the time. And now we just don't do that, right? And that discourse was benefiting society as a whole, and right now it does not, we just can't have that discourse. So we avoid it, because there doesn't need to be that angst. I don't think anyway.
Yeah, I love that. Facilitated something dialogue. That was really good. I mean, just off the top of your head,
See, sometimes I can't turn it off.
Point well taken, though. It's just different. Times were different then, too, but we won't
It's
talk
true.
about all that. There weren't as many books. And I mean, if you go to the bookstore now, there's millions of books. I'm sure some of them do have that kind of discourse in them, but not in the same way as
Oh, yeah.
like War and Peace.
That's the one,
or even Moby Dick, or what was the other one that we just read?
Les Miserables was that way.
Les Miserables was that way, yeah. There's a lot of these that there's a great story in there, but half the story is somebody taking a political view that they want to make sure you hear. And and they're opening up that discussion,
Yeah.
right, for the readers at the time.
Yep.
So
Now for us, it's just entertainment, or I guess not. Some of those were. If you have read those books, there are some really heavy things that you're like, I can't keep my.
Anna Karenina was that way.
Anna
I just
Karenina
finished
was that
one.
way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I think we both agree. Well, you actually liked War and Peace, probably more than I
That was
did.
good.
You thought that one was pretty good, whereas I was like, oh my gosh, the
I
worst.
liked Moby Dick too. I thought Moby Dick had some funny parts in it, and you had to try that one twice to get through it. Oh, 3 times to get through it. Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Third time was a charm, but it was
mean,
bad.
I'm not saying I was on the edge of my seat all night, but
Oh, I mean, Herman Melville.
through it.
Everyone will say that was a fantastic book. I struggled,
yeah.
but hey, maybe I just missed the broader point. Like to me, like the first 2 chapters and the last sentence were the only good parts of that book. Spoiler alert, they all die except for the main character.
The White Whale.
The white whale eats them all.
Now you did ruin it. Good Lord.
It's not that good of a book, people. Please don't read it.
Take the Cliff Notes. The Cliff Notes are good enough on that one. Not this, 700 pages.
Not the 700 pages in between. Like, I kept waiting for them to, find the whale, and it truly happens on the last page.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway. Well, what do we have? I think we're wrapping it up. What do we have coming up next week?
Next week, we're going to be taking care of you because you're going to be coming off of surgery.
Yep.
We might be taking care of me because I'm getting even deeper into my late 40s, so who knows?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. And I mean, because we did say happy birthday at the very beginning, so it's
Yeah.
like we're bringing it all back around.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does it feel being those late 40s?
I'll tell you when I get there, because right now I still feel like I'm in those mid ones. I'm kind of hanging on to them. And you hung on to this in your 30s, the same number.
Oh, yeah. But do you really feel over the hill?
No, but we should talk about that next week, though. We're really pushing time.
Okay.
So let's talk about that one next week, because that is, I think, an interesting topic that we all went through. Our parents over the hill at 40.
Yeah.
It's like a big deal. And at 40, I still a little bit feel like I was a kid.
Yeah.
Just come out of your 30s, man. You're a youngin'.
Yeah. You have a lot of life left to go.
And I'm staring down, turning the corner, the big 5-0s around the corner, and a couple
Now for
years.
a couple years. Yeah, I was like,
years,
it's a couple years.
Couple years. Yeah. So.
You hold on to
anyways.
40s as long as you want to, love.
Age is just a number. I truly believe that.
It is.
I think it's different. That's why I don't think people worry about over the hill right now, because we're younger at 50
Yeah.
than we
I
were
agree.
at 40.
I agree.
Yeah.
So, especially someone like you who does take care of themselves. I mean, you really do. I know we were joking about the grilled chicken, but you eat well, you exercise, you put in time to still feel young and active.
How do we want to wrap this up? Because we went long last time. Anybody that hung with us through 50 minutes, we appreciate it.
Yeah, because that was long. I mean,
And we're pushing it again this time.
all right.
And I'm trying every way in my mind to figure out how to end that with your special thing, because I know you want to finish my...
Snow angels.
I don't think it's funny.
I think it's hilarious.
I don't think it's funny. But we'll go with it yet again,
We'll go with it yet again.
because we're late. That's the only reason why I'll allow it. One more time. Last time.
Last time.
Sandwiches. What was last week? Oh, last week was
Sandcastles.
sandwiches and sandcastles and snowflakes.
And now snow angels.
Oh, jeez, I didn't even remember what you said.
The picture didn't show up.
Totally got it.
Yeah. Fair.
It's all blank inside there. Cobwebs. It's all bad.
It's all good.
It's just waves on a sandcastle.
Yeah, but that's okay, because I finished your sandcastles. So we're all good.
There you go.
All right. Until next week, everyone.
Until then, see ya.
See ya.